Listen, you don't detach because you don't care. You detach because you are tired of caring for him more than you care for yourself. If you are an anxious attachment girly, this video is for you. Now, this video is for all women, but this video is for you because if one text message can shift your mood or a little bit of attention can shift your mood, you need to watch this. You need to learn the art of detachment. Now, there's a difference between detaching and being emotionally unavailable. And many of us don't have boundaries as relates to how we attach to men, especially in romantic relationships. But that's going to end today. And by the end of this video, I'm going to help you breathe a little bit lighter. If you're new here, where you been? Because I've been here. Welcome to Heal the New Sexy, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Cynthia. I am a licensed therapist and relationship coach. And I want to talk about the art of detachment, especially for my girls that may ruminate. That man texts you, you're like, or he doesn't text you, like, what's going on? And you are in your head about it. I'm going to help you with your boundaries today, okay? Because we love a good boundary. So let's talk about what detachment really is. I'm not talking about that fake detachment, like if you detach, act unbothered, it's going to cause him. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that, okay? Detachment is emotional boundaries. It's not coldness. It's not pretending. It's about having an emotional boundary. Many of us, right, as relates to attachment, we had an injury. That's why we don't show up securely attached. And we navigate relationships through our ways of attaching. And with that, when we are forming a relationship, it can be very triggering to us because we may have been abandoned, we have been treated without care. Being detached is an emotional boundary. It's you moving slow, not giving a man extra credit when he's not showing up the way that you need him to, or even if he does what he's supposed to, okay? So that's why you have to learn how to be detached, all right? So detachment is emotional boundaries. It's you saying, I refuse to let someone's inconsistency control my nervous system, or I refuse to allow someone's consistency to control my nervous system. And you may say, Cynthia, how can someone's consistency control your nervous system? I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes when someone shows up as consistent, you may run them away because you're getting scared. Like, what does this person want? He moving too fast. He's coming on too strong because you're used to people not treating you with care. And when somebody shows up treating you with care, all of a sudden, you don't even know how to take that. Listen, it's hard in the streets. I know. That's why we over here healing, okay? When a woman with anxious attachment, right, we show up differently in the dating scene than other women, okay? And maybe you're not anxious attachment. You're like, Cynthia, I'm avoidant. Whatever your attachment style is outside of healthy and secure, you show up differently, okay? You often may feel fused with someone, like your emotions depend on their reactions, their affection, their availability. So you show up and you latch on to someone, right? And you are getting your affirmation and your validation from them. And if they aren't showing up in a way that affirms and validates you, then that causes you to have an emotional breakdown. That causes you to feel anxious. That causes you to feel fearful. That causes you to feel rejected, when really that person may just be living their life. They aren't intentionally doing those things to you. But detachment means separating your identity from their behavior. So let's say that man ghosts you. Now, all of a sudden, you thinking, okay, what's wrong with me? What did I do? You replay every conversation that you have. And the truth is, that's not your identity. Their behavior is their behavior. It has nothing to do with you. And sometimes we have to realize that while you may be in relationship with someone, get to know someone, talking to somebody, whatever it is that you're doing, their behavior is their behavior. It has nothing to do with you. It may not even be a reflection of who you are, but you are internalizing their behavior as if you have control of them. And so now you're trying to figure out, right? What did I do? Is there a way I could have prevented it? And it may not have been, okay? In order to be whole, right, you have to take back your emotions, and your emotional well-being cannot rely on a man, on a job, right? Let's talk about detachment at work just for a split second, because there may be somebody who's like, Cynthia, it's not in romantic relationship, it's just how I show up at work. Because many of us learned our worth and our value in work. So we show up to work, we are trying to be the number one person. And when we have a boss who's set out not to like us, we internalize that. So now you're going to work, you walking on eggshells. Now you're going to work and you're questioning your worth. Now you're questioning yourself, and you know you the baddest. You done graduated top of your class. Okay, you innovative, you smart, you bright, you're a problem solver. You have to detach your identity from how your boss is acting, from their behavior. Everybody know you're that girl. And sometimes you have to understand that, like, your boss can be jealous of you. Your boss can be concerned that you want their job even though you don't. And that's why they show up hating on you. That's why they be sabotaging you at work. They may not be your boss, it could be a coworker. That's why, matter of fact, they be on your job taking your ideas that you share with them. But you got to detach, okay? Don't allow that how they behave be a roller coaster for your mood, okay? So let's talk about why you struggle to let go. Let's tell the truth. Your attachment style didn't start with your romantic partner. It started in childhood, which I mentioned before. If love felt unpredictable growing up, inconsistency feels familiar now. If you had to earn affection, you think overfunctioning is love. That's what I was talking about. Many of us grew up, the only appreciation we received is when we did good in school. That's when people praised you. That's when people said that you, sorry, y'all, the lighting is changing. That's where people may have honored you, okay, when you were performing. So that's how you earned affection. So now even in your romantic relationships, you showing up to earn. And remember, we don't do that over here. We're not giving out physical labor. We're not giving out emotional labor. We're not earning a man or earning anybody's love. And if a man is watching you mad about that, then just be mad, all right? Just be mad, but don't be down in my comments. Come on, block you. Block. If you had to guess what mood a caregiver was in, you became hypervigilant. You ever had to, growing up, you can recall, like, you had to pay attention to your mother, pay attention to your father to determine what type of day it would be. And now you get in a romantic relationship, or you were in a previous marriage or relationship, and you are watching that person's mood to determine what kind of day the two of you are going to have. No, you shouldn't be hypervigilant in love. All right. You confuse intensity with intimacy. You chase closure from the very person who keeps withholding clarity. And the brain isn't broken. It's repeating what it learned to keep you safe, even if it's painful. So that's why you could date a man who reminds you of your father or reminds you of your mother, because that's what your brain is used to. And then what happens if someone should show up and they are moving in a different way, it's confusing to you. You don't know how to respond. And sometimes when a healthy man shows up, I did that video, 3 things a healthy man does, but it may drive you crazy. I'll tag it up here, right? That's why when a healthy man shows up, you don't know what to do with him, because he doesn't move the way that your mother or father did or your previous exes did, okay? Now, let's talk about the nervous system as relates to detachment. I love to bring y'all a little bit of science in this because I am a therapist, right? As it relates to rumination, because a lot of women ruminate. We are in our head. We grew up with the fantasy. We grew up with the fairy tale. And so we expect for things to show up a certain way. And when it doesn't, what happens is that your mind ruminates. And it's ruminating because it's trying to make sense of what happened, okay? I want you to know that rumination is not a personality flaw. It's your brain trying to reduce the fear of abandonment, okay? All of this that is happening in your mind is ordered to keep you safe because you sustained an injury in childhood, okay? So then from that, we begin to create coping skills. Some of them may not be healthy. We call those a maladaptive coping skill. So this maladaptive coping skill you picked up, and at one point in your life, it worked for you. It soothed you. It calmed you. But in certain situations, as you become an adult, it no longer works anymore, okay? Your body is in fight or flight, searching for control. So detachment begins with self-regulation, not forcing yourself to move on. So you have to address. And now if you need help with this, you need to schedule a coaching call. The coaching link in order to work with me is in the bio, and it's also down below in the description, okay? Right? Many of us, we just move on. We just move on because we're avoidant. So we avoid any emotion because if we address the emotion, then we're going to feel pain. So we just move on and act like nothing ever happened. Okay. So, but in order to detach, you have to begin to regulate yourself, right? You need to name the emotion. I feel anxious, not abandoned. I feel anxious, not abandoned. And it may not be that you feel anxious. It may be that you feel fearful. You feel lonely. And that's what's causing you to worry about how he is showing up. Okay. You can use a grounding technique, right? Grounding depends on what you have available, right? So I have this oil right here. This oil has a scent, right? So grounding could be smelling something that has a scent. That scent reminds you of something. It could be your grandmother's perfume. It could be the scent from your favorite hotel. And the reason why you may use a scent for a grounding technique is because it connects you to a positive experience and a positive emotion. And then those emotions come up, okay? You want to use something that helps you connect to something positive or a pleasant emotion. So it could be, some women may use aromatherapy, lighting a candle, those type of things, meditation in order to ground yourself, okay? Slow breathing, taking a deep breath. When you're ruminating, your mind may feel like it's just going, because you're trying to think about everything. You're trying to analyze it. You're trying to find where you messed up when you really might have not messed up. It's just that his behavior has changed, and his behavior, again, is not a reflection of you. We can't control how a man shows up or doesn't show up in our life. Okay. We could just make a decision whether we're going to be around or not, whether we're going to accept the behavior or not. All right. And before reacting, let the wave pass. Take a moment, calm down. When your nervous system calms, you're able to detach. It's hard to detach when you have a heightened nervous system. So let's talk about the power of pulling back your energy. It's time to give people the credit they actually deserve, not the credit your fantasy gives them. All right? Often, if you struggle with detachment, you may engage in maladaptive daydreaming. And I need to do a video about that, right? And you obsess over this person. Again, anxious attachment, you're latching on. So you're obsessing over them. And then you also have to address beliefs, right? That this is the only man for you and those type of things. Whatever beliefs, whatever scarcity mindset that you have to address those beliefs that cause you to show up this way in a relationship, okay? You have to delete the fantasy version of who you want them to be and accept them for who they are. I think there's 5 stages to a relationship. Stage 2 is when we really begin to see people for who they are, and we have to begin to accept how we see them and how we view them, and if we want to move forward. That's where many relationships kind of break down, because the fantasy of the person, the facade of the person, the representative of the person goes away, and you get to see them for who they really are. And so sometimes women decide, I can't do this, okay? But women who have attachment issues, you can create a fantasy of the person from the first date, from the first conversation, and you're making that person who you want them to be instead of accepting them for who they are, okay? Now, you need to focus strictly on their behavior, not their potential. And the exercise that you can do is you can write down the things that they really have done for you, how they really have shown up for you, because women have a way of giving men credit. They have a way of giving him credit. He may not be showing up the way that you really need him to, but you're like, well, 2 weeks ago when I got sick, he brought me soup. Yeah, but now he hasn't talked to you for 2 weeks. And when you call him, he doesn't answer. So what's going on? Okay. You need to ask, what am I trying to heal in him that I actually need to heal in myself? And I see so many women who will date a man. Now, we all have our own issues. Okay. We all have things that show up in us, but you will accept his bad behavior because you're justifying everything that's ever happened to him. Well, I know he lost his football scholarship when he was in college, and that changed the trajectory of his life. So that's why we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Instead of focusing on the energy on him and trying to change him, we are focusing the energy on ourselves, and we are healing our attachment so that we're not getting so attached to someone so soon when the relationship and the foundation of the relationship is not even solid yet. Okay? Listen, your mind stops spinning when you stop giving your energy to a story that's not true. It's not true. Okay? Detachment isn't something you do, it's someone you become. When your self-worth increases, inconsistency becomes unattractive. Mixed signals feel immature. Bare minimum stops impressing you. You stop romanticizing people who hurt you. Then you begin to engage in self-love. You engage in daily rituals that ground you. You may have a self-soothing playlist. This is the thing. When someone shows up and they're triggering you, I did that video about what your body is telling you, but I want you to pay attention to this. When someone shows up and they're triggering you, I want you, one, to be curious. Why is this triggering me? Why is this bothering me? Why is this causing me to feel this way? I want you to separate yourself and look at the situation as if you are an outsider. If this person is engaging in unhealthy behavior, then it's not you, right? Any healthy person would look at it and say, okay, you're being inconsistent, you're sending mixed signals, you're playing games, you're being manipulative. Okay, it's time for me to move on. So that gives you the justification to say any person looking at this situation from the outside looking in would say, hey, this person's not healthy. I need to move on. Okay. So that's something you could do. Now, if you look at it and you're like, okay, they're being consistent, but that bothers me because I've never had someone be consistent with me. They're sharing their feelings, but that bothers me because I struggle with vulnerability. And so I feel some type of way. I feel kind of icky when they're showing up being romantic and they're being vulnerable and they're sharing with me parts in themselves that I am fearful of sharing with them. Then you have to check you. Okay. Self-love, journaling what you need, not what you hope he will give. Pouring into friendships, right? Friendships that other person is pouring into you too, because sometimes you got to detach from certain friendships because there could be friends that could be inconsistent. There could be friends that only show up when they need something, not because they really care about you and value the relationship. All right. Doing activities that remind you who you are. Detachment is choosing you. Okay. Now let's talk about signs that someone may not be good for you. You feel more anxiety than peace. I keep saying this. You feel more anxiety than peace. Your needs feel like a burden. So let's say he's being inconsistent. You bring it up to him like, hey, like I really value consistency, but you don't call consistently. Oh, I'm busy. He doesn't value the relationship. Okay. Their attention feels like a reward you must return. Have you ever been in a relationship with somebody, but you feel guilt? Like you really don't want to be there, but they've been there for you. So now you feel like you owe them. Okay. You feel addicted, not connected. It feels like you're chasing a high. Okay. You're investing, they're observing. Now I did a video. I can't remember the title of it, but it basically talks about that, like why women need to date like men do, right? Women date, and initially what they do is that they are already playing a marriage. Men date from observation, and they are very present focus. Okay, so while you're doing all this investing and performing, he's just sitting back and he's observing whether he's going to take it further or not. Okay, you need to do the same. You keep explaining yourself to someone who isn't listening. And therefore, you're teaching that person how to treat you. And you're teaching him that he doesn't have to take your needs seriously. Because that's what happens. I talk to women all the time. I told him this, and I told him this, I told him this, I told him this. And what happened when he didn't do it? Well, nothing. Oh, so there's no consequence for disrespecting you. Got it. And he has it too. Okay? So let's talk about removing someone from your life with love. Okay? Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Or stop explaining yourself to people who do understand you, but they're just not going to do what you ask. Let them go, okay? Limit access, respond less, engage less. Sometimes with certain people, you have to fade back. You don't have to make no announcement of, I'm not going to be in your life anymore. You mistreated me. You mishandled me. You disrespected me. You've already said that. Just fade away. Okay. And you may say, well, Smithy, I feel like that's immature. Why? Why do you feel like that's immature? Why do you feel like you owe someone more than they are giving you? You've already told that man time and time again that he mistreats you, he mishandles you, he doesn't love you, he's not consistent, how he hurts your feelings. You already told him. So why do you need to tell him one more time? The reason why you feel like you need to tell him one more time and you want closure because you're hoping that he's going to change. He's not. Okay? Change routines tied to them. Attachment breaks when habits breaks. So if he used to call you at a certain time, you need to fill that time with something so you're not looking at the phone waiting for him to call you. All right. Remove reminders, photos, gifts, playlists, messages. Removes anything that connects you to that person. Fill your life with nourishing people and goals. What does your support system look like? Who are you surrounding yourself by? What are your goals? What are your hobbies? What are the things that you're putting in place so you live a full life, so you're not just focusing on this one person and this one person being able to control your mood? Listen, if you need closure, write a goodbye letter, but don't send it. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you to do too. Write 2 letters. Okay. If you feel like you need to tell that person everything that they did, write it in 1 letter and then write another letter. Write 2 letters. I like to write letters sometimes, and you tell that person slap off. Talk trash to them and their mama. That's why your mama bought. I ain't like your broad back mama, no way. And let's be honest, your uncle was trying to get with me too. Listen, you got to get it up and out, okay? You got to get it up and out. Hey, you talking about, listen, somebody out there judging me. It's okay. It's okay. But write 2 letters, okay? 1 where you talk to him like a dog for mistreating you, mishandling you, taking your love for granted. And then also write a nicer one, but don't mail them. This is for you. Closure is for you. It's not for them. The reason why people really want closure is because they want another opportunity for 1 or 2 things. 1, if it's a man who wants closure, he's trying to sleep with you one last time. If a woman wants closure, if your woman watches you want closure, you want him to change. And you think by him seeing you, how it affects you, how it hurts you, that he's going to change. He's not. He's not. And if he does, you should feel insulted, because how did I have to go through all this in order for you to change? You could have been did this. Okay? So you don't detach by resisting the past. You detach by building a future. So you have to take back your energy, and you have to focus forward. Okay? So listen, anxious mindset makes you overvalue people who give you emotional crumbs. They breadcrumbing you. But here's the truth. Just because you feel deeply does not mean the connection is deep. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's very shallow. Some people awaken your wounds, not your worth. And you have to pay attention to that. Is this person touching? And there's, again, and I don't have enough time to explain this, but there's a difference between somebody triggering you, right? And they aren't doing it to hurt you, versus you're in a relationship with an unhealthy person and all they do is trigger you. Okay? All right. So again, some people awaken your wounds, not your worth, and your healed self will not desire what your wounded self tolerated. So as it relates to you being on your healing journey, wanting more, knowing that you deserve more, you're going to have to begin to do things that you didn't do before. And it's not always going to feel good. It's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, don't always feel good. Lifting weights don't feel good. Running don't feel good initially. But after a while, after you train your body, after you build that muscle, guess what? You're going to go and you're going to realize, okay, every time I go to the gym, I'm depositing into me. Every time you stand on business as it relates to your boundaries, you're depositing into you. Okay? So if you're choosing yourself today, I want you to type detached down in the comments. It's an art to be detached. If you're like, Cynthia, there's somebody I know I need to detach from, and I'm having a really hard time. I know he's not good for me. I know this relationship is not good for me. I am struggling with this. I want you to click the link in the description. I want you to schedule a coaching call. Please, let's not go into the new year with people who are leeches. Let's not go into the new year with people who cause us to feel anxious, people who aren't pouring into us and we're pouring into them, people who are triggering us. Let's not go into the new year with that. Let's go into the new year. We're not being cold. We're not being calculated. What we're doing is we're gauging in self-worth and self-love. All right. This is Heal the New Sexy. My name is Cynthia. Until we talk again.